good morning, and welcome to the Future Disruptive panel. Today, we are excited to hear from amazing startup working in biotech, quantum computing, semiconductor, AI, and fintech as they share their vision with us. We are fortunate to have insight and listen from feedback from our distinguished guests, including His Excellency Minister Al-Falih, Maali Khalid Al-Falih, Professor Tony Chan, ex-president of CAUS and Hong Kong UST, Rida Arshad Rashid, president of Indonesian Chamber of Commerce, and the only one, Peter Diamandis. Looking forward to get insightful discussion with our startup, and let's start with Epicure from Boston, USA. Dr. Rose?
Good morning, everyone. It's a real honor to be here today to present on behalf of Epicure Biosystems. I'm Ruz Ghaffari. I'm CEO and co-founder of Epicure and have been in this role for 7 years. I'm going to present today our slides. Let's see. There we go. On adaptive health innovations that combat climate change. And to do that, I'm going to start with a bit of background. Sports science research has taught us that dehydration and extreme heat lead to cognitive and physical decline due to the impact of heat stress. This challenge spans across a number of different conditions, including chronic kidney disease, and leads to other types of ailments like heart failure. And as a result, we've seen a number of different challenges facing consumer health as well as athletics. But if you look deeper than that, it's not just a consumer health problem. Industrial workers are at significant risk of these challenges, and the costs are staggering. We have over several hundreds of billions of dollars in costs due to the effects of extreme heat and dehydration on industrial workers. To combat this, there's a number of different solutions that could really monitor and manage the vital signs and health of individuals exposed. But the challenge is there's a lot of existing technologies that rely on blood and urine, which are very invasive. Our goal is to expand beyond that and develop solutions that could be non-invasive, that could tap into your biochemistry. And the way we do that is by monitoring sweat that perspires out of your skin pores. We've known for decades that sweat has a number of different biomarkers that span electrolytes all the way through proteins and hormones. And if you could measure and capture it, you're able to harness and provide management tools for solutions. We've developed non-invasive biowearables that can exactly do just that. And the technology is shown here, is developed at Northwestern University and MIT, where a lot of our co-founders come from. These are wearable sensors that you could wear on your skin and be able to monitor your biochemistry as well as your skin temperature, motion, and various other physiological biomarkers, all non-invasively without needles. We've developed our first breakthrough end-to-end solution called Connected Hydration that does that. It consists of a smart wearable as well as a mobile app and cloud analytics that relay to industrial workers and consumers data about their hydration as well as their physiological biomarkers. All of that is done in real time. The data is transported over to a cloud in such a way that even health professionals, managers, health safety individuals can monitor and see the data as it comes in. And To give you a glimpse of what this type of new data streams look like, we've highlighted some of the new biochemical signals, sodium levels, fluid loss, in tandem with skin temperature, motion. All of that is unified in one device. Think of it as a Fitbit for biochemistry, all put into one sensor, and in a way that you could start to tease apart what is your hydration status. How are your vitals changing as a result of heat, environmentally as well as due to work functions? And we built the system to be end-to-end for a very specific reason, and that is to be able to provide all of the cloud analytics to enable real-time interventions preventatively as opposed to reactively by preventing injuries as well as fatalities. We save costs for various enterprises as well as the various individuals that are,
you have 1 minute,
that are impacted. And finally, just to highlight, our business model has been enterprise focused. We work with big companies such as Chevron, PepsiCo, Bechtel, various other groups that have been deploying our technology. And as we grow, this B2B business model has allowed us to scale, land, and expand with various flagship customers. And finally, as we look towards the future, the next 3 years, we see this as a platform. Sodium chloride, hydration, that's really where we're headed with the initial product. But as we look towards other applications, kidney health, chronic conditions like heart disease, micronutrition, these are all areas that we're going to be expanding on and have already started doing pilots in those areas. With that, I'll open it up for any questions. Thank you.
Yeah, Your Excellency, go ahead.
Dr. Abdurrahman, thank you very much for what Beta Lab does and for bringing these great companies like the one we just saw. Innovation is going to be the new turbocharger for our great economy and taking us to the next level. Yesterday, we announced 540 regional headquarter multinational companies being located here. Proud as I may be of that, what would really make me happy is to see hundreds, indeed thousands of the world's best innovative companies, startups, small, not yet multinational companies, come here and be turbocharged by the economy of Saudi Arabia, reaching the region, reaching bigger markets, and also turbocharging.
Because of the great work you are doing at MISA.
Thank you very much. No, thank you. Thank you. No. I think at the end of the day, it's innovation, RDI, young people, people who take big bets and translate research and technology into solutions that hopefully not only will solve global issues, but at the human level. So I'm excited about this.
Thank you.
This looks like it has, great potential. This year, unfortunately, it was one of the hottest seasons for Hajj. And it's well documented that we tragically lost a lot of people in Hajj due to heat stroke. And it all happened within 48 hours, so it got a lot of publicity, which is, I think, in a way, as tragic as each of those individual losses. It concentrated our minds about safety in general, safety in Hajj, safety in a workplace, predicting the impact of the elements and doing the right thing to, and certainly hydration and heat is very critical. So first of all, my question is, have you thought of convergence between your wearable, looking at, with the other data that is available to all of us as we wear our smartwatches, rings, as we have sensors. I have a sensor, pre-diabetic, so I get my diabetes, converging it and creating a combination data set with the right algorithm, personalized for me, based on my personal, to tell me that I'm getting into a risky zone and I need to do something differently, whether it's, that's one. Two, I think I was glad to see one of your collaborators being Bechtel, but I'd like to see the big industrial players in the kingdom. So Hajj is important for us, and I think we'd love to use your device for the right people in the right way as soon as possible, if it proves to be. But I'd like to see the big industrial company. I did work in Aramco at one point of time, and I tell you, when the temperature, ambient temperature is 45 in an offshore location during June, July, August, September, under some steam pipe rack, it's probably 70 degrees. So I think we need to look at those locations and make sure we're extremely protective of our workforce there, and do the right thing. And then my last question is, has this been certified by the right agencies, FDA, Saudi FDA, and others? And how do we, like I said, industrialize it and combine it with our data sets and other tools?
Your Excellency, thank you for those questions. I'm happy to answer them. So the way we think about this solution, and as you've described, there's a lot of different data streams that are all providing value. And over the past 10 years, we've seen a lot of progress towards biophysical metrics, such as heart rate variability, motion, ECG even, at our fingertips, and we have that. But what we have not been able to really penetrate is more biochemistry-based metrics that really tap into the underpinning physiology. And what we've done to introduce our solution in a mainstream way to achieve that goal is by making our cloud become compatible via APIs with other existing infrastructures so that you could merge data streams. And so we've already begun doing that. In the worker safety space, that's critical because there's certain intrinsic safety needs for wearables to have that not all consumer wearables have currently. So we've done that. The second part of your question about deployments internationally, Epicor is deploying in Saudi Arabia now. We're doing pilots. We're very excited about it. The extreme heat conditions that Your Excellency you mentioned are really a big problem around dehydration and as well as fatalities and things that could happen, as we saw in Hajj. And finally, as we look towards the future, we're looking to enter our growth stage now and being able to bring this technology out. One way we do that is by going international. And so Chevron, Pepsi are already have invested in Epicor, and we're very excited about expanding investment and opportunities in the Middle East, especially in Saudi Arabia.
Thank you. Peter, if you have a quick question before we go to them.
Yeah, a bunch. How many have you manufactured? How many are operational right now? What is the lifetime of the sensor? Is this a shaver and blades? Are you charging for each additional sensor? What are your revenues?
Great question. So we've launched products already, one in the sports fitness space, and that was in partnership with PepsiCo. That is now across North America and South America, millions of units. We have now expanded to the worker safety space, and we
Which I think is brilliant, and you're in the right place.
Yeah. Thank you, Rose.
Great.
Thank you. Next, we have Quantier Professor Joe from Hong Kong.
Good morning, everyone. A great pleasure to be here. I'm Gyu Bung, a co-founder and chief scientist at Quantier, and currently I'm the faculty member at HKST and incoming faculty at Rice in Houston. So the quantum hardware is at the heart of the quantum industry, and the hardware parts is likely to become the major part of these quantum fields. But the important question for us is, where does people find and use such kind of cutting-edge quantum hardware in our daily life. Today, the devices in our life are connected to through this Internet of Things, IoT, which we daily use in our daily life. But what about the quantum fields? Currently, there's nothing like that in this quantum fields. And that's exactly what we are trying to tackle in our projects. So the first part of our end-to-end solution is to provide the remote and the multi-user support and the data management and monitoring and the external service integration to the quantum devices. And we believe that this kind of the service will serve as the platform for the new opportunities in these markets. So, So this, our projects actually, our company was born from the real problems that our CEO and the co-founder, Dr. Elnur Hajiev, and myself faced in the real quantum labs in the quantum research group at HKUST. So to address these problems, we actually team up with the CTO Murad and the product lead Hangyeol Song with their extensive experience in the quantum and the software engineering, including the IoTs. So the global quantum market is emerging and substantial, and the hardware sector is huge, and its potential is, of course, huge, up to the 12 billion US dollars. So when we talk to the people about what we are doing, they always ask how it does not already exist in the markets. And that's exactly the question we have to our team. And to tackle these problems, and that's exactly where our mission came in. And
1 minute.
yes, so our business model is directly to the customer subscriptions for their demands and the requirements based on our in-depth customer the inquiries. And we also have a huge financial opportunities in working with the device manufacturers and the advanced computing companies and industries. So how do we go to the market? Well, we're going to utilize the existing market and community of over 1,000 quantum devices in the academia or research institutes or the venture forms. We're also partnering with the device manufacturers to reach out to the customers and providers as quickly as possible. So currently, we are raising up $3 million US, and we have a third of our rounds committed, backed by the lab. So if you find our projects interesting, just feel free to find me after this session. I love to discuss more details. And again, connecting the quantum device to the world is not just imagination, and that's exactly what we are preparing for the future within our company, Quantiers. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Tony,
Well, thank you.
you can relate to this, right?
Well, I think it's fate because Joe reminded me that I was president when he was hired at HKUST. It was really great after, I don't know, 10, 15 years. We come back to Saudi Arabia and through Beta Labs. So I have a technical question. So the part of quantum that I follow is in quantum computing. And you know, it's notorious that quantum computing is, there's still a lot of instability in the hardware. You have to talk about error corrections, you know, how many qubits and how stable are they. So now you have Internet of Things. So what is the situation there? You know, if I buy a device and hook it up, how stable, how reliable is it?
Well, that's a great question. If you focus on the quantum computing itself, the error correction is a must we have to solve down the road. But our focus is not just for quantum computations. we are actually trying to bring all the quantum devices that already exist in the industry and university and other institutes. So we hope to use the quantum error correction for the computational point of view, but we are more keen to the security or data security other than the quantum error correction at the moment. But for the computation, that's quite important aspects.
Thank you. Arshad, you have a question?
Sure. I'm not an expert on this, but I would like to know. The question is why the reason the educational is your first step towards this. And also I would like to ask the question of whether it can be utilized for medium-sized companies. So I think those two questions.
Yeah, so that's also a great question. So in this quantum field, quantum industry, one of the pain points we feel from our own experience is the education or connectivities. And that's exactly why this education or all these applications we can imagine is missing in the industry. So that's exactly what we try to fill the gap. And with this software package we're building up, we believe we can imagine such kind of education or other stuff in the industry.
Thank you, Professor Joe. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Next, Norquis Cure from France.
Sorry, thank you for me to be here.
Can you go there, please?
Here?
Yes.
Okay.
So we can see you.
No, because I want him to be on the cross, told me, so. Okay, so no problem. So I will present you quickly Norix Core, what we are doing here. 1000 hex, okay, it is what you can gain in terms of energy efficiency and performances for AI hardware acceleration over a classical GPU or CPUs, okay. Many companies are developing solutions on this. Those solutions are sometimes not that efficient. Actually, why? Because AI is becoming more and more complex and widespread. As you know, we have multiple of applications going from servers, cloud, and to IoT field and robotics and drones and so on. And so you have generative AI application, you have computer vision, you have natural language processing running on this. And so you have trillions of parameters per model today. Okay, you reach 3% of global emissions, and now you need a lot of chips who are very expensive to answer those situations. So we need for more performances. We need for less energy and cheaper to run solutions. We need a cheaper and faster to produce also, close to a custom AI solution. We need for more security and privacy, and for this reason that we are promoting the edge application and the ability to doing the processing of AI for inference at the edge. So this is what we are doing at Norix Core. Norix Core, it's a fabless semiconductor chip startup, okay. It's born, I would say, in 2023. We have roughly $500,000 revenues this year. We will have pretty much $1 million revenue next year, mainly on the IP business today for our current accelerator and also from services. We are 10 people, so we have state-of-the-art AI accelerator on the market, and we have innovative AI accelerator that I will come back on this on R&D. We have some silicon on 22 nanometer, demo board, prospect and customer. And we are targeting inference for the edge. We are based in France, in the French Alps. We are coming from, let's say, another startup incorporating in China named Smart NV, where we got $3 million investment and we decided to spin off the French office at that time. So one of the problems of the AI acceleration is the memory wall. As you know, there is multiple solutions going from DDR5 that we have currently. HBM solution, we are lack of problem in terms of cost, that you pay 3x compared to a classical solution. Limited energy efficiency performances. After you have what we name computational memory, okay? And usually some startups are working on SRAM compute, where you have performances and energy efficiency, but you don't have the cost and the capacity of a DRAM, Okay. What we propose, it's a new technology named 3D Max for 3D memory acceleration, where you can combine performance, energy efficiency, cost, capacity, and storage. The point is to merge gigabyte storage and compute. The point is to be able to bring clone-based model to the edge, okay? To be able to run your inference in your mobile devices without any internet connection, without any connection to the cloud, to distribute the processing capabilities. And so we expect to have a 10x in terms of energy efficiency, in terms of speed, while running models on a single die like Gamma 2B, Gamma 2B from Google. We have the DRAM speed, DRAM density, we are scalable, and we are the cost of a logic process. Thanks to an approach of quite flexible of building your solution, we can save 10x in terms of cost and have 4x faster design time compared to current design method. How? Because we are delivering a chiplet unit for this AI memory capacity to build the different chips and able to answer in a smart way to different markets, going from automotive, camera video surveillance, and up to the edge server and advanced robotics. Today we have already, for standard solution, some customer in defense and video processing and space. I will thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you. Ali.
Which commercial applications now, which companies you think would be ideal to embed your technology in?
I think it will be where the company needs processing capabilities, power, but they don't want to pay in terms of cost and in terms of energy. And so you have all the robotics, for the industry. You can have all the drones that you have in defense. It's tricky because you need processing capability. We are discussing with some company on this field in Europe where they need to merge the LLM capability and the vision processing because they want to describe, the pictures, not only to have the vision processing. If you start to merge different kind of model from the computer vision and from the LLM, you need a lot of storage. Okay, you need a lot of capacity. If you don't have the storage on chip, you will pay it in terms of power and speed anyway. So you will degrade the efficiency of your final drones and applications.
Thank you. Peter?
A couple of questions. One, we've got such high bandwidth right now on 5G and soon 6G networks. Why can't the memory be on the edge of the network? Another question is, what is the status of your chip development? Is it done? Is it in use? I'm unclear about where you are in the development of your product.
Yeah. Anyway, for the bandwidth, what we need, it will be more than terabyte per second in terms of bandwidth, for those kind of model. With terabyte per second and even more, trying to do it off chip to have an external connection, you will pay it in terms of power with several 10x in terms of energy efficiency. That's for sure.
Okay.
Regarding what we are doing, today we have some commercial activity, but on the standard version.
But have you produced the chips yet?
No, we are licensing for the moment our solution as an IP for a standard version, and for the version of 3D Max, it's a solution we are on R&D stage and we are developing the solution.
So it's an idea right now versus a...
We have silicon next year, but yes, yeah.
What's the revenue? You said you're making 5 million revenue. What is that?
It's $500,000 this year. It will be, we are signing contract for 1 million next year, yes.
Yeah.
But what kind of revenue are you making? Or is it licensing?
It's IP licensing and services mainly for the moment, yes, that's correct.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a quick technical questions. By the way, combining the memory with the compute, right? That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It reminds me of this other company called Cerebrus. Aren't they trying to do this? So how do you distinguish your architecture from theirs? That's one technical question. The other one is, if I understand, is more than the hardware, the computer. You have CUDA. You have the whole software infrastructure. How are you going to interface with those?
On this, regarding the memory, what we are doing, it's a 3D memory, but it's not a 3D like other companies are doing where they stack chips. Okay, the 3D is within the die. Okay, in fact, it's a flavor of spintronic technologies that we are leveraging, where we can directly, vertically stack the data within the die. And on top of this, you can stack, you know, the rest of all your die.
So Reba is 2D.
It's a 2D.
You are 3D.
It's a 2D. It's a 2D at the chip level. After, if you combine 3D, it's like a 4D. In fact, you have 3D at the die level, and you have a 4D at the package level. So in terms of storage capacity, it's huge. It's very huge. It's terabytes that you can store in the future.
What about CUDA?
Yeah.
Regarding CUDA, it's we are using within our development an open source technology named NVDLA from NVIDIA, with also Apache TVM solution. We are compliant with multiple frameworks like PyTorch and so on.
So you can interface with them.
We have some bridge, yes. Yeah.
Thank you. Next, AI sensing with Prof. Fan from China.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning, distinguished panel members. It's my great honor to be here. I also want to thank the Beta Lab for having brought me here. So I'm here on behalf of AI Sensing, a company dedicated to develop a new generation of all-factory sensors. So before I start my presentation, I want to ask everybody a question. So in this room, I believe everyone has 1 or 2 cell phones. Except for myself, I have 3 cell phones. So cell phone is a smart system. It has cameras like our eyes. It has sound sensors like our ears, and also has a skin, touch sensor, basically. Does everybody know that what kind of important sensor is missing on a cell phone as an intelligent system?
Smell. Smell.
Yes, smell sensor. It's a very important sensing organ for human. Sometimes it's about the life and death. We use our nose to detect our dangerous environment, such as toxic gases or dangerous gases, right? And even beyond that, our pets, some of our pets can smell whether the master is sick or not. So it's a medical application. But for all the intelligent system, our cell phone, robots, they don't have smell sensors. So the reason is the past sensor or physical sensors, very simple to fabricate, silicon-based. But smell sensor, they're converting the chemical signal to the electronic signal. This is a very, very different. And it's a very difficult technologically. So our company, AI Sensing, is dedicated to design and fabricate a new generation of all-factory sensors to address those urgent needs. I myself, I'm a chairman, co-founder, and also a professor at the Hong Kong UST. So I have my CEO, he's my partner and a good friend for 20 years. And also we have a strong team of a production director and a marketing director with a rich experience in semiconductor industry. And also one of our inventors is a very famous co-founder of DJI Innovation, Professor Zhexiang Li from Hong Kong UST. So he gave us a lot of advice and support. Our core competence is the sensor that you see over here. So this is the hardware we built in our lab. So here we use a proprietary technology to fabricate an array of the sensing pixel on one chip. And each sensing pixel is different from others, so we can generate a response pattern which is related to the type of the chemical molecules. So you can simply understand this as an image recognition method to recognize or classify different kinds of gas molecules. Some are the toxic, some are dangerous, right? And at the bottom right, it's actually a video. I don't have time to play the video, but it's demonstrating that we can use our sensor chip in conjunction with artificial intelligence to tell you, so this is a banana, this is an apple, and that is an orange. So different kind of fruit. So our key technology over here is using the nanostructure template to integrate different type of sensing materials. So with that, we achieved miniaturized sensor size, so much, much smaller than the conventional all-factory sensors. And it has very high performance, very sensitive to the environment. And most importantly, it is using non-silicon process, so it is very, very low cost and affordable. So we published our work in Nature Electronics. This is the best journal in the field of electronics. Of course, we have the Chinese and the US patents. And we have already very strong professional investors, including Professor Zhe Xiangli's Hong Kong X, Expo Park, etc. And with the previous funding we raised, which is about $5 million US, we're able to build a manufacturing site in mainland China, Great Bay Area. So this site has 2,000 square meters, and we already installed this automatic equipment to do the sensor fabrication and packaging.
Professor Fan, can we open it to the question?
Sorry?
Can we open the...
Wrap up.
Yes.
Take 30 seconds and wrap up.
Yes, we can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So right now, the company can already produce a simple version of the sensors, and we're doing the third round of fundraising around $5 million US to build a bigger factory to fabricate more sophisticated sensors for the markets in the environmental monitoring, public safety, and smart home, and also the automobile electronics and the future robotics. So this is a comparison between our sensor technology and the commercial available technologies. You can see we provide high performance at the same time the low cost. And this is our product matrix. So as I mentioned, we are able to fabricate simple version, and in the future, we're able to fabricate more complex electronic nodes to work for the more complex environments. So in terms of base model, we position ourselves as a provider for the chips to enable our downstream customers who are the manufacturers of, sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
What is the lifetime of the chip? How long does it last?
So we already tested 5 years. Yeah. So it's a semiconductor device.
And has it been certified in terms of its efficacy and accuracy?
Yes, we have already certified. We have certified in China with a national certification center, one type of sensor, our methane sensor, so natural gas. I think it's very relevant to the industry in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, because the natural gas leakage detection is very important for the safety. Yeah.
I think time is running out. If I may ask, and I think obviously safety is the holy grail for this.
Yes.
If it can be 100% accurate because there are some even gases that humans can't smell in oil and gas industry, H2S, there is ranges of it, and it's fatal, obviously. So I think if you're able to solve for that, great thing. But something more practical and, day to day, can it help people, detect their own smell?
Oh, yes.
Body odor, breath.
Yeah.
Because this is, I think, a social problem.
Yes. Thank you,
Many of us
Your
face.
Excellency. Very wonderful question. We already built a prototype to detect our breath. So our breath contains the biomarkers, not only whether the breath is comfortable or not, pleasant or not, but also it can tell our health status.
Yes.
Some disease, we have the special smell that give us the indication we're not healthy, basically. We already have a prototype to prove that.
And you
Thank
can have
you.
that on your phone, huh?
Yeah, with this, thank you, Professor Fan. And
Thank you very much.
next, XMP Arjun from India.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for the time. We are at XIMPE. So McKinsey and all the other consulting companies have said that this century belongs to Asia. But Asia is full of emerging economies. And what makes emerging economies? It's SMEs. Most of the emerging economies have at least 50% of the economy that is driven by SMEs. So at XIMPE, our key goal, our key milestone is how do we make these SMEs competitive in the global market, right? Every SME is actually someone who's struggling with technology, with lack of financial solutions, and generally it is run by a family or a bunch of partners who typically are very resource constrained. They have less labor, they have lesser access to money. So we are actually building a platform which is actually committed to making these SMEs competitive globally by giving them access to technology that will help them digitize their business, give access, basically democratizing access to finance. You might be an SME who does $500,000 or $100,000 or $10 million in business, you today don't have a democratized access to finance or technological solutions. And that is what we give today at EximPay. We started our journey with India because India is actually where we belong to, and it's a pretty large market. What we provided is actually today, I have a video, but we'll just go through the slides, is a platform where actually you can digitize your business as usual.
Oh.
It'll actually help you do fast, razor fast payments. We are actually powered by DBS. We are the only fintech in Asia which is powered by DBS to do cross-border payments. And even more important, what we've built internally as a proprietary model is actually the ability to actually take data points from SMEs, their trade, their business, their balance sheet, their cash flows, almost 300 data points to actually come up with a risk model that we now are actually able to share with financing partners out there. And that's actually helped us disburse close to about $75 million of payments out there. Now, this is something very interesting, right? You have an order from someone outside, say from India. Now, how do you trust that it's a good buyer or a good seller? Now, this is where a platform like ours using data can actually help. Well, just yesterday, Dr. Abdul Rahman introduced me to the National Council for Palms and Dates. And that's when I realized that Saudi Arabia is the largest exporter of dates with $300+ million. Do you know who's the largest importer of dates in the world?
India.
It's actually India with $300 million. But Your Excellency, less than $1 million is imported from Saudi Arabia today. So there is a huge gap out there where the suppliers here could actually sell to buyers in India. And we are the largest, for good or bad, we are the largest population in the world. We have 1.4 billion people. We'll have 300 million people of middle class. And hence, these are the kind of connections that we actually need to do out there. And that's also where, because of the data that we have, we're able to provide credible trade intelligence.
Thank you, Arjun. We'll leave. Arshad, you
Yeah, no, for us, coming from Indonesia,
Yeah.
where more than 90% of the employment in Indonesia come from MSMEs, and also more than 67% actually contributed to the economy. I'm just wondering, a real case, if you can tell me some stories about how you can, a real thing. And another thing is, how do you overcome the regulatory between all various countries when you have all this that you're trying to provide?
So I think we always have to work within the regulatory framework of the country. But what is actually going to be done is that we can use the data of the SME to actually provide better solutions. For example, right? So this is an exporter in India who buys from farmers. Now, farmers need payment upfront. But he will get and he exports to Singapore and Hong Kong, rice. But he will get his payment only after 90 days. Now, he has a cash flow problem for 90 days, but his supplier is a farmer. Now, generally, typically, a bank will not be willing to lend to him because there's no real credit worthiness for a farmer out there.
Right.
That's where you can actually use data, you can use the vintage, you can use the data flow between an exporter and a buyer to find credibility that, okay, he procures from farmers, but he also sells to credible buyers in Hong Kong and Singapore. And that's how you're able to actually give the...
Have you thought of linking your platform with e-commerce company? You know, Amazon, Noon, Trendyol here, which is Alibaba, so that because they need, small suppliers also for some unique niche products to reach their global markets.
Your Excellency, we're already doing it with Amazon India. So the same problem that the suppliers have is that they get the payments maybe after 90 or 120 days, and they want actually these payments to come faster. So the short answer is we're definitely already integrating with e-commerce players out there.
Thank you, Arjun. Thank you. Your Excellency, His Excellency asked me how we're going to vote. This year we're going to vote live. Out of the 5, who do you like the most and why?
I like them all. I do. I think each one of them could be, a huge breakthrough. So I would not truly underestimate the potential of any of them. But being a non-technical person, especially in technology, and also being practical, pragmatic, and in a hurry, like many others in the kingdom, you know, I see the patch for heat to be ready to deploy yesterday. So it's a tough choice, really. But if I had to choose one, more because of readiness and immediacy, I will go for the hydration and health predictor patch.
Thank you. Peter.
I have to agree with His Excellency from a investor business side. Epicure has a real business, they have a real product, and there's a definite need that is measured in the millions to hundreds of millions. The others have great potential. The quantum internet, for me, is very early. The neurocore, again, is very early. And the nano honeycomb eNose is my second place winner here.
Good.
Because of its potential, yeah.
Arshad?
For me, I think I'm going for all are amazing. It's just all the technology has just been in. But for me, being in Indonesia, where we need to have solutions for our MSMEs, and so I'm going for the last one, which is the XMP, and that's something I think it's actually today, and we can actually try to find solution and get for the MSME in Indonesia.
Tony.
Well, I'm biased, right? Two of them from my former employer. No, but the sweat thing, my first reaction was, I want to get one. Because I lived in the kingdom for 6 years.
Yeah.
And I play tennis in the summer. The sweat is no problem, whether you get dehydrated, whether you have. So I don't know whether the business model allow for consumer rather than healthcare. That's one. So I think that one is very immediate. Actually, I'm intrigued by the AI sensor part. He described it very well because our cell phone is missing that whole sensor. So my question for him is, can you generate smell rather than just detect smell? If you can generate smell, boy, there's a huge application. All the restaurants, all the stuff you want to buy. You say, how does this smell? So I think you should work on that.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to thank our panelists. Thank you.